Welcome back to The Pulse. And it's very interesting to find out that our German intern, Jeremy Brunner, he grew up with stereotypes about Africa, corruption, diseases, and poverty. Nevertheless, after several long-time stay in Ghana, that perception seems to have changed. In the following feature, he explains his perspective on our motherland, Ghana.
When I arrived in Ghana for the first time, I was overwhelmed. I was 18 years old, just finished the senior high school in Germany and came to this country to volunteer for the Ghanaian NGO Theatre for Social Change. I came heavily packed. In my bag were, amongst others, a bulk of medical supplies for all cases, a mosquito net against malaria, a belt with a zipper on the inside to hide my money from thieves. Not in my bag, decent clothing. As part of my volunteer program, I have been sensitized for stereotypes about Africa in a preparatory seminar. I learned that Africa is a culturally diverse continent with 54 countries, 1.2 billion inhabitants. I learned that according to the International Monetary Fund, Africa contains 5 out of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world. But despite learning all of that, the content of my bag represented the subconscious image of Africa I was carrying in my head. Diseases, malaria, criminality. A lot of time when Ghana makes it into German news, it's about electronic waste. Recently, I was on a German Ghanaian festival about digital issues. It made it into the most popular German news. And where did one of the German news team go for the future? To the dump of Aquabloschi.
Auch eine Fundgrube, die herum eine florierende Industrie entstanden ist. Ausrangierte Computer werden in unzähligen Repair-Shops.
The issue is not that these stories are untrue. Yes, there is a huge problem of pollution through electronic waste in Aquabloschi. Yes, there are problems of sanitation, especially in Accra with its choked gutters. Yes, there are diseases like cholera and malaria in Ghana. But there's also the Ghana with an emerging middle class and a rapidly growing economy that rises the interest of international businesses. There's also the Ghana that shines by its well-established democracy and a vivid public political debate. The Ghana that, according to Reporters Without Borders, scores high in terms of press freedom. Placed 23 worldwide, even before the press of Spain, France and the United Kingdom. And the Ghana that does not consist only of people relying on charity, but has also banks who themselves give donations to the less privileged. But most important, most things in Ghana are simply like in my home country in Germany. Perfectly normal. The famous Nigerian novelist Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie summarizes the dilemma of prevalent Africa stereotypes.
The single story creates stereotypes, and the problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete. They make one story become the only story. Of course, Africa is a continent full of catastrophes, the immense ones such as the horrific rapes in Congo, and depressing ones such as the fact that 5,000 people apply for one job vacancy in Nigeria. But there are other stories that are not about catastrophe, and it is very important, it is just as important to talk about them. The consequence of the single story is this: it robs people of dignity. It makes our recognition of our equal humanity difficult. It emphasizes how we are different rather than how we are similar.
You're misunderstood, you can't be misunderstood. You're so clear, I'm your Frank Underwood. Your needs I won't undermine, never put them under mine.
On my first visit to Ghana, I brought medicaments because I didn't know that there were a lot of pharmacies here. I brought a special mosquito net because I didn't know I can get them everywhere in Accra. I brought a special belt to hide my money because I was afraid of thieves. When I come to Ghana today, I leave those things home. Instead, I bring my decent clothes because I know dressing well is appreciated. When I'm asked by my German friends to talk about Ghana, I first start with a preamble. What I tell can always be only one story, told out of a certain perspective. Mostly, it will be biased on the fact that I spent most of my time in Accra, and by the kind of friends I have. There is no one picture of this wonderful country. There are only perspectives. And they are as many as people that ever talked about this country.
Well, I'm amazed the things I saw in that report. So, Phil, comment to Ghana, Jeremy.
Well, I think Ghana is a very diverse country, first of all.
Okay, I asked you a question. Phil, comment.
Willkommen. Dankeschön, Dankeschön, Dankeschön.
Etiseng.
Na oswe.
Me hoye pa. Na we didi.
Me didi kenke.
We di kenke. Kenke ni den.
Pa.
Ede pa.
My Twi is very bad. Well, I just started the class.
But you're doing very well. So the things you didn't know about Jeremy, he speaks very good Twi. I'm sure he has a Ghanaian girlfriend. Jeremy, so how many times have you been in and out of Ghana?
So I think this is if I counted right, this is my 4th time in Ghana.
That's your 4th
I'm based in Germany, but whenever I have the opportunity, I come to Ghana.
Okay, so what's your experience like? Tell me, in Ghana.
It's very, very rich. You know, there are a lot of different places. There are a lot of different places which look different, which smell different, which sounds different. So whenever people ask me what I think about Ghana or what I like about Ghana, I find it very difficult to answer their questions because there are so many different stories. Every day I experience a new side of Ghana. I experience new things that I haven't seen before. So the more I stay, or the longer I stay in Ghana, the more I realize this is one country, but there are millions of stories and there are millions of different pictures you can draw of this country.
Okay. Having experienced Ghana for a long time, I'm sure you've been to so many places, and of course you couldn't even share all your experiences in that story. Tell me more. I heard you talk about Agbogbloshie. Which other areas did you visit in all your 4 times that you came to Ghana?
Well, a funny thing is that actually on my first day, I went to Agbogbloshie. I worked, the first time I came to Ghana, I was volunteering with a theater NGO, and by that time there was a workshop ongoing with prostitutes in Agbogbloshie. Okay. So my very first day after my arrival, I went to Agbogbloshie because they had a theater performance there. Okay. But during my whole stay, especially in that year, I traveled a lot. I was then referred to a different project, which was called Noyawa. We went to about 50 senior high schools in the southern regions of Ghana to hold interactive theater performances there with students. And that was very, very interesting because I've seen a lot of school campuses actually in Ghana. Yeah. And it was a experience that was really very interesting for me, and also taught me how many different perspectives and how many different places there are in Ghana and how different they look.
And so how did that story with the prostitutes go at the Agbogbloshie area?
Oh, it's a long time. I wasn't on that project. It was just the first day. I barely can remember, actually. It was like the first day, you know, when you come to a new country, there's so many impressions which are just bombarding your mind, basically. Yeah. So it's really very much. The first day is really like, after 3 hours, you're really tired because there's so many impressions coming to you. Okay. That I think I barely can remember, actually.
Right. So growing up, and I saw in that report, you said what you knew of Africa was that of diseases, that was of poverty. How did you come to agree that, all of this existed in Africa until you visited Ghana that told you a different story?
Well, first of all, in Germany also there are a lot of different stories that have been told. It's not the only story that has been told of the African continent. And especially lately I see a small change in the movement, but still prevalent. What I think is prevalent in the society is that we grew up with certain pictures. For example, as children, like my parents didn't do that, but a lot of children are told when they're small and they don't want to finish the food, then the parents tell them, please eat up your food. Just think of the poor kids in Africa which don't have food. So, those are stories which are told over and over and over and over again. And the news which, more or less the worldwide news which come are mostly negative. I mean, news have this, this attribute that most of the time they tell negative things which are happening. So the most stories that are broadcasted on television about Africa or from African countries are negative. And there are certain stories which are told over and over again. So we grew up with this perception and forget that there are also other stories which are happening, and that there's also normality, that there's also a middle class, that there's a normal economy, and all of those things. We tend not to hear about it in the news.
So how has your experience affected the negativity or the negative thought, or how has it shaped your thinking about Africa and particularly Ghana?
I think the more stories you hear, the longer you stay in the country, you realize basically that, I mean, it's a bit cliche, but all of us are basically the same. There's, no matter where you go, there's only one human race. We are all the same. People may have a different language, may have different habits a bit, but 99% is the same. 99%, I find the same characters, the same kinds of people in Ghana that I also find in Germany. I find businessmen, I find beggars, I find people who are wicked, I find people who are honest, I find pride people, I find proud people, I find
humble people.
Humble people, all different kinds of people.
And you find everywhere in the world.
Yeah, you find everywhere in the world. And the same is true for anywhere you go to in Ghana. Not only when you talk about, you know, those so-called like more wealthy areas, but also anywhere you go, even if you go to, I say, a bit poorer countries, you still find the same kind of people, basically, and you find very intelligent people and all of that. So
what would you say about the people of Ghana? I'm sure as you've been going, in and out of the country, you've made so many friends, you've been interacting with a lot of people, you've been transacting businesses and all of that. What would you say about the people?
I think you mentioned it already. Ghanaians are very interactive. It makes it very easy to talk to people. Like the first barrier to make contact with someone, even if the position of the person is the person has quite a high status or something, they're still receptive. Like you can still talk with people easily, and that's quite a nice thing. In Germany, it's really more difficult to get to a person. Even getting the phone number from someone in Germany is a whole issue on its own. Like the first moment you get to know someone, you can't ask that person for the phone number. You have to wait for some days, actually.
Okay, wow.
More or less, yeah.
But that's different in Ghana.
Yeah, that's different. That's really different.
But if you look at our cultures, our traditions, I don't know if you've gone more into those areas, but at least you've eaten some of our meals. You've eaten kenke. The last time I asked, you said you ate red, and you're learning our language. Are you liking it here in Ghana?
Yeah, I do like it here. I do like it. I think Ghana is a country where you can really live a nice life. I think Ghana is like the country to be, in actual fact.
So what's your revised story of Ghana?
My revised story?
Your revised story of Ghana, having seen all the great things, because you told us in that report that when you were coming, you had the mindset of Ghana being that of disease, poverty, and all of that. So you carried with you baggages with drugs and all of that. But now, as you came, the subsequent ones, you were reducing the things that you were bringing. So you may have a revised story of Ghana now, and I ask, what is that revised story you'll be telling, the rest of the world about Ghana?
My revised story is that Ghana is like Germany. I don't say the countries look the same way, but you find everything here. You find, when I want to, like most of the times when I come now, I don't bring a lot of stuff because I know where I can get my stuff in the market. And I think that, even though the countries may look differently, most things, and maybe you have to adapt in certain things, most things are quite the same, and I think that's very beautiful actually to realize.
Wow. So you have any favorite Ghanaian music?
I like Manifest. I think I played that in my feature actually. It was the first song, like the first Ghanaian music I got in touch with, and especially Some Way B, was like really in the charts when I arrived in Ghana. And I remember Chaliwati Streets Art Festival. That was my first weekend in Ghana. And that song was all over. I really enjoyed myself.
Okay, what was that thing that attracted you about those musics?
I think Ghanaian rhythm is very, very popular. And I recently saw a documentary actually about high life and how those rhythms from high life actually are the roots of R&B, of reggae, of hip hop. Like those beats, I think spread around the world. Those beats are really, like you have good beats.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you love Ghanaian music.
Yeah,
Can you sing a line?
Nah, I think I'm a terrible singer. I don't even want to try.
So if we were asked to compare the two countries, Germany, Ghana, what would be that thing that strike or that common thing that ran through the two countries? Or how would you even compare the two countries as a starter?
Oh, very difficult question. It comes as an easy question, but it's actually hard to answer. Now I really don't know how to answer.
You don't know
that
how
question,
to compare
no.
them, but do you see some common traits between the two countries?
I'm not sure. Like
They are two different people.
no, they're the same people. As I said, like the same people you find all over the world. You can find in Germany and you find in Ghana. I think one thing is Ghana has more than Germany. Ghanaians are very busy. Ghanaians like are really worksome. They really, and I would say they're way like there's this story or this cliche about Germans to be so hardworking and you know they're always working. Well, seriously.
You found the story different in Ghana.
I find in Ghana, like people, they work.
So in Germany, it's more relaxing than Ghana if you want to compare the two countries.
Yeah, from my work experience, yes.
You work a little, you take a little coffee, and you relax.
No, not that everywhere, but yeah, I think overall Ghanaians are really
Ghanaians
hardworking.
are hardworking.
You know, sometimes you come home and then you have to wash your clothes with your hand. Most or almost all households in Germany have a washing machine.
Machines.
I mean, I also consider, you know, you have to count those things in. Like to keep your household alone is way more work. So that also counts in. So people hardly rest.
Yeah, in Ghana.
Yeah.
Well, that's at least you're telling a good story about Ghana. I want to thank you so much. Jeremy Brunner is our in-house intern. He's from Germany and he's telling a totally different story of Ghana from the one that he's been hearing, the negativity, the disease, the poverty and all of that. Jeremy says he's in love with Ghana and he told me he has a Ghanaian girlfriend. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you too. Okay.
Medase. Right.